morning, welcome to another video. So today I'm not in my studio, I'm not even in my house. We're visiting family very quickly, a very kind of flying visit, which is why, depending on when I get my act together, I probably won't be able to post this up tonight, but I might do. But if you don't get a video on, what day would it be? Friday? If you didn't get a Friday video, that's why. It was a lot of travelling and stuff. But normal service is being resumed. I mean, hopefully I'll get this video edited, but I probably won't. But you never know. You never know, you might get a Friday video. I don't know because I'm not there yet. So I am away from cafe. I am away from people. It's just me at the moment because people are doing their own things in the house. So I was thinking I could get some reference pictures up and do some sketching that way. Let's just see. I've got my arty things. They're all there at the table. So let's just see where the day takes us. On some of my previous videos, you guys have been really liking this pencil. I love it as well. So these are some of the pencils, if you don't know. I've been trying to use up some of the, like, not surplus, but you know, like pencils that I've acquired through the years while I've been trying to find the kind of thing that I like. And I've just accumulated loads of them. And that's not one. So these ones. And this one was in the pot and I've never really used it, along with these ones. But it's really nice, and a lot of you have been loving the colour. So before I actually sharpen the end off it, I'll let you know what it is. So this one is the Faber-Castell, a Gold Faber Aqua, and it didn't have a colour written on it, but all it has is this. So there's the number 156, which I am very certain is the colour number. So if you are interested in that, that's what it is. I don't know if the Gold Faber Aquas are made anymore. I'm not sure how long I've had it, not sure whether it's been donated to me from someone else who's had it for even longer. So if you like it, you're gonna have to do a bit of digging to find that. It's a lovely colour though. It's like, it's almost green, it's like a greeny blue. Some lights it's blue, some lights it's green, so I'm assuming it's turquoise or something like that. So yeah, really nice. It needs the pencil extender now, so I'm going to swap this out. Does it fit? Yes. Sometimes pencils are a bit, these pencil extenders, there's like one size on one side and one size on the other. And they kind of expand a little bit to fit different size pencils in, but there are a few pencils that just don't fit. And the way to get around this is to get some like paper tape or like masking tape or something and just put a little bit around the end and then it should fit. So there's a little nifty tip for you. But at the moment, the internet is off because Andy's doing a little bit of work in the house. So it's had to turn the electricity off. So I'm just going through my photo, or whatever it's called on the iPad, photo album. And this is my old boy Dave. He's coming up to his, what was it? Yesterday was the 9th anniversary of when we got him. Dave sadly passed away in 2021, just before we got Rolly actually. The house was too quiet without little feet running around causing mischief. Even though our hearts were hurting, the house was too quiet, and I wasn't feeling any better for the house being quiet. I wasn't grieving any less. So it's nice looking through all these old photos of him. Bless him. He was a cutie. So yeah, then a couple of months later, we had a look on the cat shelter website and saw Rolly's face looking out at us, and we thought, that's the guy for us. And the rest is history. So I'm just going to work through doing some quick sketches, like quick warm-up sketches in my sketchbook of photos in my photo album. And if you've never heard me say this before, if you have, please bear with me, it's going to take a few seconds. But if you're new to the channel and you've never heard me say this, it's worth bearing in mind. Because for years I didn't enjoy sketching. I didn't understand sketching. I used to get stressed out by sketching because I used to do the first few drawings and everything felt wrong. I had an idea in my head about what I wanted to draw and nothing was turning out right. And it's only since taking this year out, so since January, I found a free resource online called the Good Ship Illustrations Sketchbook as Friend. I'll link that in the video description. And they put me onto time sketching. So I started focusing on the time sketches, I started focusing on the timing rather than the end result, because that was the objective, to see how much I could get down in like 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, whatever. And that kind of freed my brain up to actually think, right, I can just do some drawings. But something to bear in mind if you are sketching and you're still feeling dissatisfied, remember that sketches, people who've watched me for a long time will be laughing now because I've said this like 500 times, but sketches are like pancakes. So when you are making pancakes, if you've ever made pancakes, you will know that your first 1, 2, 3, 5 maybe pancakes never look like pancakes. They're always either like little overcooked on the outside and raw in the inside, or they're not the right shape, or like the pan was too hot, the pan was too cold. If you ever want to get to the delicious pancakes when you're making pancakes, you've got to get past those first few that don't look right, that were experiments to see like how the mixture was it too dry, was it too wet, was the pan too hot, was the pan too cold. You need those first few experiments to get to the delicious pancakes. And it's exactly the same with sketching. So don't expect, even if you've been sketching for like every day for 3 years or whatever, don't expect your first few sketches of the day to be brilliant. They are your first pancakes. They're going to be a bit raw in the middle. They're going to be a bit misshapen. Your first few sketches are you getting your eye in. It's the equivalent of getting the pan to the right temperature. So give yourself that grace. Maybe you'll have an hour or 2 hours of like bad sketches or misshapen sketches, or sketches that don't come out how you want them to or how they would have yesterday, for example. But give yourself that grace. It might take an hour, it might take 5 minutes to get past that. Give yourself the grace to do your messy sketches, get your bad pancakes out of the way, and then you can just carry on and enjoy it. So this is my old boy Dave. We would have had him for 9 years, and Dave is actually the cat. If you've ever read my children's book that I self-published, Our Dave, it was written all about Dave's journey through the cat shelter, and it was based on this boy here. This is the real boy. My good boy, miss that boy every day. It's funny though, right, trying to sketch him now, because I self-published the children's book all about him and I did a lot of drawings in a certain style. Trying to draw him now in anything but that style that I drew in 2020, it's really tricky. So I'm trying to kind of see him with fresh eyes and draw him more loose and loosely without getting caught up on the details. It's tricky, but these are my first pancakes, so it's fine, it's fine. Also, I should say, don't compare your first pancakes with another person's first pancakes. We are all different. We all draw in a different way. Our hand holds a pencil differently. It interprets our brains differently. What we want to get out of the page is all different. So don't look at my first pancakes and think that would be my finished piece, or, oh my God, My first pancakes are much better than those. You know, like, give yourself that grace. Like, you are fantastic just the way you are. And if you try and be like other people, you're never going to get out that first pancake stage, because what your brain and your hand want to put down on the paper is going to be different to your expectations of what you want from the paper. So just practice you, this is why I found time sketching really useful, because I was focusing on the timing, which gave my brain and my hand the chance just to draw how I draw, in the same kind of way that you do writing in your handwriting. I mean, I don't know if you did this when you were a kid, but when I was a kid, there was always that person in your class who had a really, really lovely, neat handwriting, and I'd always try and copy it. I'd be like, oh, I wish my school books looked that neat and tidy, and they'd always like put like little hearts above the eyes, or you know, something that they could consistently do. And when I tried to copy it, I couldn't consistently do it, because I didn't want to put little hearts above the eyes or circles for full stops, or you know, I couldn't keep my writing all one height, because my hand is scribblier than that person's hand, and that's fine because that's mine. And it's exactly the same for drawing. So don't compare yourself to someone else. Try and find a way, whether it's time sketches or something else, but find a way to take the pressure off the end result and just focus on the process rather than what your drawings look like, which is why time sketches are so great, because you're getting as much down as you can. It's like a little mini challenge to yourself. How much can I get down in 30 seconds or a minute or 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. And it takes the pressure off what your picture looks like, because you're not trying to get a picture, you're not trying to get a finished illustration or a beautiful work of art. You're trying to just train your brain to observe things better and see how much you can get done. Doesn't matter how messy it is. So and that's when the good stuff happens. That's when the stuff that is yours comes out. And it might look alien, it might look weird the first few times you see your own hand and your own style. I know it was for me. When I first started, I didn't like my style at all, because I wasn't used to seeing it, and it wasn't refined because I'd never practiced it. The more I got used to seeing it, the more I was refining it and tweaking it and getting it a bit more polished. And it really became like my handwriting. It became something that was mine. Basically, be kind to yourself and just give your style a chance to come out. So I'm using my water pen. In fact, I might use a thicker brush one. There's the big fat one. So this one's just got water in, and I use them with these Neocolor 2s. So these are the Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s, and the Neocolor 2s are water soluble. So you can use it like a crayon, but you can also use it like a watercolor. So you can then either add water onto what you've already done. Sorry, that's a bit blue because I haven't cleaned it well. Not a good example. Hang on. I need to get better at cleaning my brushes after I've used them. So you can either use them as a crayon, or you can add water to them, and then that becomes a watercolour on the page. Or you can also do what I do, which is when you've got a water brush, you can just use the end of your crayon, and then that saves the tip from getting worn down. So use the other end to load up your water brush, and then you can use that just like paint. If you're wanting these, be aware that Caran d'Ache also do a Neocolor 1, which isn't water soluble. So if you're wanting it to be water soluble, check out Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s, and it says aquarelle next to it. Clean your brushes, everyone. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use one of these just to add some shading to Dave's dark places, so that can be penciled over once it's dry. those layers dry before I go over them again. There's no point trying to get pencil on top of that while it's still wet, because it will rip the paper and you won't get the proper texture of the pencils. So while this is drying, one good reason for getting water-soluble crayons is that you can use it as a watercolour, and then when you go over it, you've got a harmonious colour to go over the top. So rather than using a gouache or a watercolour from a tin, and then if you're going over it and you want to get the same colour on top, you know that this crayon, once that's dry, if I go over it, it's going to be the same colour as this one. So it's going to sing a little bit better. It's going to kind of sit next to each other, probably a little bit more harmoniously than a random blue, even though I am just going to use a random blue. Okay, I finished my tea and they're still not dry, so I thought I'd do a little tour of what I've brought with me to sketch just over this overnight trip. So buckle up, here we go. So the first thing is my sketchbook. I use these A5 ones. I use them from, hang on, I've got a new one here in case I finish that one. I use the studio sketchbooks from Jackson's. They are super duper cheap. I think they're like 80 something pence each. There's 20 sheets, so 40 sides, and the paper is so thick. It's like a 140 GSM. I used to use the ones from Hobbycraft. People who've watched me for a while will know I've gone through this before. I'll actually link a video at the end which shows me comparing these ones to the Hobbycraft ones. The Hobbycraft ones are fine. I basically choose the cheapest sketchbooks possible, so I'm not too bothered about the paper quality and stuff. But the Hobbycraft ones, I think they changed the paper in them and they started to seep colour through when I used watercolour, which, like I say, I'm not bothered about because it's just a sketchbook. It's just for throwing ideas down. I'm not too precious about it. If I got too precious about it, then I'd probably not draw anything at all. So I wasn't too bothered about that. But I found these from Jackson's and they were cheaper than the Hobbycraft ones. So why not get these if they allow me to use watercolour without them seeping through as well? So these are what I use. I do have a link in my video description, which, for full transparency, is an affiliate link. I'm not paid by Jackson's to say these things. I shop with them anyway, and that's why I signed up with the affiliate. But if you've never shopped with Jackson's before, my affiliate link will get you 10% off your first order. And if you have shopped with Jackson's before and you want to try something like this out, if you click my link first, it won't cost you anything extra, but you'll be helping me a little bit. I think I get about 5% back from every order that's placed after clicking my link. So no obligation, but I just thought for full transparency, I'll just let you know. But I shop with Jackson's anyway. I don't use Jackson's things because they pay me or anything like that. I shopped with them anyway, and that's why I decided to, sign up to their affiliate scheme, because I was already recommending people to go there. So that's why. If you're wondering why, it's not because I'm being paid. I'm not doing it for nefarious reasons. So that's my sketchbook. That's the one that I use. And I use the A5 Studio sketchbook. And as you can see, the colour it's still a bit wobbly there, but the colour hasn't gone through. And it does put up with a lot. Once that dries, that'll be flat. It puts up with a lot of water. They're not watercolour sketchbooks, but they do like put up with a lot of messing around. I've also got these. So these are my standard go-to pencils that I take in my roll when I go out. Like I say, I am trying to get through some of my old pencils, so I have a handful of pencils in here. 2 or 3, let's see. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know. So I do have these as well, and I'm trying to use these up when I'm just doing random practice sketches. Mainly so I don't waste these, and also so I don't waste these, because these are just hanging around in my studio and I might as well use these up and save these. But this is my pencil roll. So I think this is a Derwent pencil roll, but there are others out there. So yeah, a Derwent pencil roll. This was actually gifted from my sister because she was having a clear out of her studio. If you don't already know, my sister is also an illustrator. She has her own YouTube channel, and she had a big clear out of her stuff a little while ago. And she gifted it all to me, which is nice. I'll link her channel in the video description as well, so if you want to check her out, go and give her some love. But this has been really useful. I never thought I'd want a pencil roll because I always liked using a pencil case. All right, this is a bit big for a pencil case, but I liked rummaging through my pencil case. But I think that's actually before I drew a lot. So now I'm sketching observational sketches and quick sketches more frequently. I like having all of my colours easily accessible rather than having to dig around in my bag to get them, because you waste time. If you see something you want to draw quickly, or a person you want to draw quickly at a cafe and you want to draw them in a certain colour, and you waste time rummaging around trying to find that colour, they could have gone by the time you find that colour. So having them all set out like this is really nice for me. Most of the pencils in here are Polychromos pencils. So Faber-Castell Polychromos, my favoured brand at the moment, not sponsored. I just find the colour really nice and intense. The nibs don't break, they're not crumbly. It's a really nice texture to draw with, and they're fairly affordable. Jackson's often have really good offers on the Polychromos as well, so keep an eye out for that. There's also a couple of, so there's this Stabilo Aquarelle All pencil. So they draw on paper, glass, plastic and metal. They're really creamy and lovely, delicious. So I've got a couple of those, or at least one of those. Yeah, one of those. What else have I got? I've got some Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils. These are nice as well, but blinking expensive. And if I was doing like more finished illustrations, I'd maybe use more of these, potentially. But I like them equally to the Polychromos, and the Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils are so much more expensive. But I think they're light fast. Yeah, light fast pencils. So you do get more, I don't know, more life out of them, I suppose. But if I'm just scribbling in my sketchbook, Polychromos is the way to go. It saves me a lot of cash. And then I've got this dark indigo. I really like dark indigo. So I've got it in the Polychromos and also the Albrecht Dürer from Faber-Castell. They're the same colour. So, oh yeah, dark indigo 157. But this one, the Albrecht Dürer, is water soluble. So just like the Caran d'Ache Neo colours, you can add water to it or use it as a watercolour directly from the end. Or you can just use it as a pencil. So it's a good kind of multi-use, multi-purpose thing. I like dark indigo because it's kind of, you can use it like a black, but it's just a bit more lively than black, I think. And in my opinion, anyway. And I've got a pastel. Nice for adding texture on top of watercolours. What else do I have? I've got some of these. So they've got 3 eco lines. I've shown this recently, so I'm sorry if this is boring, but just while I'm waiting for that paper to dry. So the Ecoline brush pens are actually refillable. If you, hang on. Oh, it's really tight. I'll get another one. Actually, there we go, refillable. So if you've got Ecoline watercolour, which comes in it's like a glass pipette jar, you can pipette that in there, and I did that and added a bit of water in, and it's as good as new. And I'm going to use these instead of these Tombos. The Tombos were gifted from my sister. I tend to prefer refillable things because after this is finished, it's a massive waste of plastic. So I'll use this up until it's finished, and then I'll not buy any more Tombos. Personally, personal preference, I like refillable things. But while I've got them, I might as well use them. I've also got Posca pens. Someone told me that Posca pens can actually be refilled. I don't think they can officially be refilled because I looked into that previously. But I think Beth Spencer and someone else, I think they just, I don't know how they did it. Does that twist off? I'm not going to do it here because I'm on top of someone else's table. But apparently Posca can be refilled. I don't know what with, and I don't know how. Probably acrylics, because I think it is an acrylic because it's permanent. So look into that, kids, if you've got any Poscas that you want to keep using. And I've also got one of these, a Jelly Roll. This was gifted from my sister. But it's good for adding highlights. But you could also, depending what materials you use, and you could also use pastel or a white crayon or white gouache. It's just while I've got it, I might as well use it. And these woodies are really good. So this is a Stabilo woody. It's a 3-in-1. So it's crayon, it's paint, and what else is it then? It says 3-in-1. Anyway, so it's a big chunky crayon. You can draw on multiple things with it, so you can draw on windows and stuff as well, glass and things. You can add water to it, so it's water soluble, just like the Caran d'Ache, but it's obviously not got as fine a point, and they're really good for loosening up, getting some big kind of naive marks on the page, stop you being so uptight. So that's in my pencil roll. So I've got that, and that rolls up nicely. and makes all my pencils easily accessible. You could fill it with pens if you wanted. And that. I've also got this little tin. That's where I keep all of my Caran d'Ache Neocolour 2s. And like I say, these are water soluble. If you're interested in the Caran d'Ache Neocolour 2s, because they're water soluble, make sure you don't get them mixed up with the Neocolour 1s, because the Neocolour 1s are just a wax crayon and they're not water soluble. The benefits of the Neocolour 1s, because they're not water soluble, you can put the colour down and then paint on top of them, and they resist the water like a traditional wax crayon. But the benefit of these is you get two materials in one, so you've got watercolour and crayon. But it depends what you want to use them for. I've got a pencil sharpener. I gave in finally and got one of these posh Faber-Castell ones. They don't fit all pencils, but because I use Faber-Castell, they fit all Faber-Castell pencils. But even if you use a different brand of pencil, so like the Derwent Artist Colour, for example, they don't fit in there. You can't actually get to the blade. But you can put them in the jumbo. It's not an exact fit, but you do get a sharp point on it. So even though it might not look like it fits initially, you can use this for a multitude of brands. So in here, I've got a mess of stuff. I've got a little iPhone holder, or tablet holder or whatever. I've got a cloth, good for cleaning your brushes on. Always have a cloth, kids. I've got brush pens. You've seen these already. Super useful. You can either fill them up with paint, watercolour and stuff, and have them ready to go if you know you're going to use that colour, or just have them filled with water and use them with a watercolour palette, or with, you know, water-soluble pencils and stuff. I've got a Stabilo Woody pencil sharpener, some odds and ends, so some pencils that I'm trying to use up, and a black Posca, which shouldn't be in there, but I've probably put it in there just to tidy up. You'll notice I don't have an eraser, and that's because when I'm sketching, I don't care about mistakes, really. If I make a mistake, I just keep going, or I move on to the next page. I'm trying to get over the fear of making mistakes, because I really don't think when you're sketching there are such things as mistakes. It sounds really kind of hippie and something that you put on a tea towel, but I think all mistakes are valuable when you're sketching and when you're playing with, in your sketchbook. I don't think there are such things as mistakes. You learn such a lot from things not going exactly the right way. If everything went your way straight away, then it'd be really boring, wouldn't it? I mean, even AI have trouble with hands. Not everything goes perfectly all the time, and that's fine. You might discover something really amazing in the mistakes, or in something not going the way that you thought it might. You know, allow yourself that possibility for things to go slightly differently to how you expected, and you might discover something brilliant. I mean, then again, you might not as well, but that's fine, because you're just sketching. You're just having a play and experimenting. I think these are dry enough. So I'm just going to get some pencil and draw the detail over it very quickly, not being too precious. of people mentioned that on the last time I was in the Sheffield Maker Shop, I forgot to show you the finished pages because the angle's quite bad in there. I can't do like overhead shots, and it's the same as here as well. So I forgot to show you. Have I got it here? I don't think I've got it here. No, I have not got the sketchbook here. But yeah, sorry about that. I forgot to show you the finished pages of the ones I was sketching the other day in the Sheffield Maker Shop. So I hope that today's overhead shots are helpful. Someone also suggested I should do a sketchbook tour, and maybe I'll do that with one of my sketchbooks from previously in this year, but that is one of my rewards over on my Patreon. So if you do like sketchbook tours, on my £1 tier, you not only get the access to the live drawing Zooms, you get access to the recordings of all the Zooms that have happened in since they began. You also get access to monthly sketchbook tours where I film all of my observational sketchbooks for that month and go through them page by page. So if you like that, that is a reward that I offer on my Patreon. So I don't want to do that all the time and do sketchbook tours because that would detract from the things that my patrons are getting for the money over there. And it's for the £1 tier, so it's I've tried to make it as affordable as possible, but maybe I will do a little flick through of one of my older sketchbooks. Maybe I could maybe compare it to one of my sketchbooks from before taking this year out, because I think you'll notice how much more loose and I don't know, expressive I'm getting in my sketches, and a bit more accepting of things going wrong, a little bit less uptight, a little bit less like, oh God, it's got to be perfect. So maybe I'll do that, but I can't do that here because I don't have my sketchbook here. But good suggestion. But if you do like looking through sketchbooks, head over to Patreon and maybe join up on the £1 tier. Patreon's dead flexible. You can join for 1 month if you want, then cancel, so you can dip in and see what's what. If you did that, you'd have instant access to all of my sketchbook tours that I've done so far, for as long as you're a member. You'll also get access to all of the live drawing Zooms that we've done so far, for as long as you're a member. You'll get access to any live sessions. You'll get access to any like invites to the Zoom sessions that happen while you're a member. And we've got a live session coming up on the 16th, actually, at 6 p.m. GMT. So if you joined up, you're very welcome to join that. You'd also get all the downloads that I've done. So I do monthly downloads, which are mainly calendars. So you'll get access to the calendar for this month and also all the previous ones. And I understand that access to calendars from previous months might not be amazing, but sometimes I do bonus like phone backgrounds and tablet backgrounds, so you can have a look through all of those, and if there are any bonuses that aren't kind of month specific, they don't have like a calendar or a month name on it, you'll have access to all of those. And that's all on the £1 tier, and I've kept the price low, and you'll have heard me say this before if you've been with me more than one video. I've kept the price low on purpose because we are all struggling at the moment, and I don't think that access to drawing sessions should just be for the super rich, or for people who have, I don't think that should just be for people who have like a lot of disposable income. So I've made that tier as affordable as I could for accessibility, because, you know, I'm not exactly flush with cash, and I do appreciate it when people do like free access sessions to their Zoom drawing sessions, or have, you know, I know some people do like scholarship schemes to their live drawing sessions. So if you get in touch with, I think Beth Spencer does this, if you get in touch with them, they'll do, and say you're on low income or you can't afford the sessions, whatever, she's got so many like scholarships that she gives out so you can have access to sessions. So what I've done is I've just kept the price as low as I possibly can, and hopefully that makes it a little bit easier for you to join in all of these kind of things. But remember, there's no need to sign up for a year. It's not like a yearly membership. You're not locked in. You can join up if you like it. You can keep it rolling over month by month. If you don't like it, or if you can't afford it next month, you can cancel. And then if you ever do decide to jump back in, we'll be here waiting for you, and you'll have instant access to all of the recordings of the things that have happened in your absence. So it's fine, dead flexible. But it isn't a hard sell. You don't need to do it. No problem if you don't. But that's just one of the explanations as to why I don't do regular sketchbook tours on YouTube. It's because it's another reward for my patrons. But I think this is where I'm going to leave this video, because very soon everyone else is going to be coming back in from their various activities, and we're going to be having lunch, and I'm going to have to tidy away everything off the table. So hopefully it's been useful and interesting. Thank you for joining me, especially if you're new as well. Hello, I don't know if I've welcomed you yet. Welcome if you're new. And if you don't know me, It's probably a bad time to do an intro right at the end, but I'm Emma, I'm an illustrator, I live in Sheffield, and this is my journey through I'm at the end of my year off now into like developing my style and really just kind of focusing on my own work rather than trying to emulate other people's. And this is just my process. Like at the end of the year now, I'm going to start applying, well, anyway, you'll see if you keep watching. But you're very welcome. I'm glad you're here. And if you're not new and if you've been with me for a long time, thank you for sticking with me. I do appreciate you. I see you. I appreciate you. If you haven't already subscribed, actually, if you watch me but you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you did click wherever the button is, click and subscribe, because it helps me get found by other people who are wonderful like you. So if you do enjoy the content, if you do like the video, I'd really appreciate it if you did take the time just to quickly subscribe and quickly like. That'd be fantastic. No obligation, but if you're here anyway and you are enjoying it, I'd appreciate that. But yeah, this is where I'm going to go because I need to tidy all this away so we can eat. I am going to stop rambling now. So until the next one, see ya.